post-national title game, Cato and I get back to the hotel. It's about 3 a.m.-ish. We finished the show that we recorded for the next morning right around 4 a.m. And as we always do every post-national title, we do our way too early top 10 teams. And the team I had at number 10 was the Florida Gators. And so we put out the graphic, put out the video, a lot of pushback on Florida. Oh, I can't believe you have them at 10. And you sort of start to you do some self-scouting. You say, was I too tired when I made that top 10? Was I maybe a little bit, drinking the orange and blue Billy Napier, DJ Lagway Kool-Aid too much on the bus ride back to the hotel post-Natty? Was it because we were in SEC country? And I asked myself all those questions, and I have arrived at this thought, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. I will stand on business and say I think Florida is a way too early top 10 team in our rankings as of right now on this show. I will give this disclaimer. This is not like a prediction that Florida makes the college football playoff as the number 10 team. But Andy and Ari, I'll leave Andy Staples, I don't want to speak for Ari, but Andy Staples put out his way too early college football playoff bracket for 2025-2026 season. He's got Florida in there. And while we'll do our bracket when it's time for that to happen, I don't think it's impossible. But I just want to just make sure we mention that. This is not our prediction, but it is as of right now, Florida has earned the right to be a top 10 team in my mind. Now, the reason why I feel that way is more so the sample size we got at the end of the year from Florida. Because I think when you break down who the Gators are, you have to assess two different teams. You have to assess pre-DJ Lagway getting the keys to the offense and post-DJ Lagway getting the keys to the offense. Because pre-DJ Lagway, they had some rough looks. The Miami game, the A&M game, all that's true. However, it's extremely unfortunate. Graham Mertz goes down. You have to go to DJ Lagway to be your guy. As a starter, DJ Lagway is 6-1. And that one game that he lost as a starter, he didn't even finish the game against Georgia. I'm not saying they would have beat Georgia, but I would have been excited to see it. Now, he also didn't play against Texas. So if we want to be hyper-conservative here, let's go ahead and say that DJ Lagway, should he play against Texas? Texas made the semifinals. Maybe he's 6-2 as a starter. That still fires me up from a Florida fan. That still fires me up when I look to the future of what Florida is. And it's very obvious now how they ended the year. Regardless of what you think about Florida as a football team, if they're in your top 10 or in your top 25 or unranked period, you cannot deny that what you saw from DJ Lagway is exciting. Florida now has a real difference maker at quarterback, which is something I don't think they've had in quite some time. He elevated the entire roster. He elevated the offense, and he's a big reason why I'm believing them in 2025. He wasn't even full strength at the end of 2024, and so for him now to get another offseason, for him to get his health, you would hope, underneath him and be 100% heading into the year, I don't think it's irresponsible to think he could be better next year. And so if you're telling me he goes 6-1, 6-2, depending on how you want to slice that, and he's not full health, and Florida is beat up, what could he be with, again, another offseason and a little bit more underneath him physically? That's what gets me excited. Now, I will say this, my hopes aren't purely based on DJ Lagway. He's a big part of that, but you look across the roster, there's a lot to be, I think, encouraged by with Florida in general. Like, they bring back essentially both lines of scrimmage. You bring back Jaden Baugh, who was awesome for you last year in the backfield. The team also, maybe more importantly, continues to dispel this narrative that somehow there's like a poor culture at Florida. I never totally got that. I guess we had a chance to see them get tested in 2023, and they didn't finish 2023 in the best fashion. But in the month of November, they still had 3 losses at the end of the season now that were all single digits. Everyone's talking about Napier's getting fired. He's not the right guy. He's this, he's that. The external noise is massive. Team didn't quit. Team finished all the way through. And we've been saying this the entire offseason, dating back to last year, saying Florida, you keep telling me they're going to quit. I didn't see them quit in November. In 2024, with a true freshman quarterback in the month of November, they go 3-1 behind Lagway, 3-2 total. So yeah, they played 5 games in November, but the point remains the same. I haven't seen this Florida team quit. When quite frankly in 2024, when everybody, myself included, had written off Billy Napier after the A&M game, there would have been, I think, a pretty good reason to pack it in and start looking at the portal and look to next year and all that. Florida's a sinking ship. Nobody on that team did. From what I can gather, the important players that were on the field didn't. buoyed their season. They finished with 8 wins with that bowl win. So I think the way they finished, I think the culture, I think DJ Lagway, all that to me combines to make them a team that I believe is top 10 in America. Now, the fair point that you would push back on is, JD, if you want to predict the 2025 season, look at that schedule, are you really telling me they're going to finish in the top 10? We'll get there. But we'll play that game for a second. The over-under win total for Florida is 6.5. I'll say right now, the over on that number will likely decide whether or not my 3-month-old daughter attends college on our dime or not. If she gets a scholarship, great, but that's probably going to be where we fall on that. Florida will play, as of right now, 6 teams that are ranked in the preseason in 2025. Are they ranked when they play them? We'll see. But that's their schedule, so it's going to be brutal. Florida, if you're talking about the playoffs, I think they have one of those rare situations where 9-3 for them would actually get them into the playoffs, should chalk hold with those rankings. But let's even take a step back. Looking at this schedule, I think if I'm a Florida fan, I should have confidence walking into every single game. Now, February is for having confidence walking into your schedule. I don't disagree with that because the games haven't been played, so we're in talking season for a minute. But legitimately, with some of their more difficult games, you get Texas at home. I think Arch Manning's going to be great, but there's no guarantee what he's like when he walks into the swamp. Miami, got to go to Miami, and that was a tough game last year in the swamp for the Gators to open. I missed that one by a mile, hand up. No Cam Ward on the other side. Got Carson back, but still having no Cam Ward, I think at least opens it up to a conversation with how Florida finished last year, 2 different teams than what opened and finished the season last year. I think Florida probably gives that team a run for their money should they play that game in November, beside the point. Georgia, yeah, it's going to be a tough game. Kirby is the best coach in college football. You don't know exactly what they're going to be. They got to play a new quarterback. So my point being with all of this, are there tough games? Is the schedule any easier? No. But I don't think Florida is as maybe out of range as we assumed they were a year ago. A year ago, we're saying if they can go 7-5, amazing. Build the statue. Oh, they went 7-5. Don't think they're building the statue. But you look at what they could be in 2025. From the body of work to DJ Lagway, to the culture, to the direction, to all those things, I think Florida's a top 10 team. I'll stand by that right now. And if they go 9-3 with that record, or with that schedule rather, and get that record, I think they're going to be a college football playoff team. Will it happen? Remains to be seen. But we've called our shot, I suppose.